All right, I know I told everybody that this was coming, and I've mentioned it in a couple of videos that we'll be receiving soon a device that will hopefully be all the things we want it to be. As lots of you know, there are lots of devices that are available out there that can do basically the same thing, but they all have a fatal flaw. And in this retro gaming community, a lot of times we have to compromise. Some devices have certain features, other devices have different features, and they don't all seem to check all of the boxes. Well, it's finally here. I've been waiting not as long as some, but I ordered mine back in January, so it took about 5 months to get here. And you guessed it, the Ayn Odin, a few days ago, came in the mail. Now, here's the thing. We're going to do a couple of different videos about this device, and I'm going to have a lot of different comments about some of the things that are available with this device. But in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to go over just the hardware itself. So this device is running a 1080p screen. It's 5.5 inches in size, obviously a 16:9 display, widescreen display, and it's running a Snapdragon 845 processor inside of it with an Adreno GPU, which is fairly common and has been out on the market for quite some time, but provides great performance. A lot better performance than the chips that we've recently seen in these Android handheld devices. And I always like to try to keep my videos kind of the regular guy's take on these devices. And the first thing I thought of when I took this device out of the box was how good the build quality is, right? So this is produced by a company called AYN, and it's their first device that they have produced out on the market, at least under this company naming this moniker. The build quality of this device is so much better than you can display on the screen or somebody can describe to you. It's just a matter of the materials that they've used, the plastic that they've used, how it has been formed, and whatever coating they put or however they, however they created this surface on this plastic, it just feels high quality. And for a first generation device, it is far better than I would have expected. I read all about the specs, and I knew all of the technical specs of the device long in advance, right? Snapdragon 845, 8 gigs of RAM. I got the 256 gigabyte storage model, analog triggers. It all sounds great on paper, right? But sometimes when you get a device in your hand and the quality of the materials that are being used are terrible, and the buttons just don't click the right way and they aren't quite sized right, it ruins the experience. And I can tell you that none of that is happening here, right? The D-pad is clicky and responsive, even though it still rocks. The buttons have lots of travel, are just the right amount of click. The joysticks are, I would compare them to Nintendo Switch joysticks, but it's better than that. They're even better than that because the way they sit inside the case, it really gives it a little bit of some, I don't know, it supports the joystick a little bit more. And, obviously they're clickable. Everybody is, I've seen a lot of videos complaining about the white lettering and the emblem on the front of the unit. I don't mind it at all, not even a little bit. I think it looks great. I think it, it complements the device. It's one color, so it's very unobtrusive. I have no problem with this at all. I don't plan to take these off at all. unless they start peeling off on their own, and then maybe only because they're incomplete I might take them off. But if they stay nice like this, I'll keep them the entire device. I just can't understate the quality of the materials that are being used in this device. It is so much better than I would have imagined. So I just, want to make sure you guys understand that is a lot of the benefit of this device. Regular clicky L&R buttons, analog triggers working really well. On the top, we have a TF card reader, in which I have a 512 gigabyte card for additional storage. You've got an HDMI out in the package that I purchased, which was the super pack. It came with a cable, so I have that if needed. Power button and volume rocker right here. You know me. Would I have preferred a wheel, a volume wheel? Yes, absolutely. I would have preferred a volume wheel, but this is just fine. Will work just fine. On the bottom of the unit, you have a 3.5 millimeter audio out port and USB-C charging, of course. 2 stereo speakers on the bottom, and nothing on the sides but a great handle grip, right? You see that small little bulge back here, not too obtrusive, but just good enough so that you can kind of grip it with your hand when you're holding it. Huge props to them. I thought this was going to be a bear. I thought it was going to be terrible. I thought it was going to be way too much. It was not. It is exactly the right amount of grip, and it keeps it still nice and thin. On the back of the unit, you're going to see a port for active cooling and 2 additional buttons on the rear of the case that can be programmed to whatever you want them to be. One thing I will notice, you notice it most on the back of the unit right here. It does kind of attract fingerprints. This coating does kind of attract some fingerprints. So, if you're worried about that, then keep a cleaning cloth nearby because you will be wiping it down quite a bit. But that concludes my take on the hardware itself. And it's really about the feel in the hand, right? This feels so good in the hand. It's molded right, it's shaped right, it's not too big, it's not too small. This is going to be our go-to device on the go. We're going to get into what it can do, what it can't do, what it can emulate, what it can't emulate, the kind of software that I'm going to set up on this device. All of that stuff we're going to get to in another video later on. But right now we're going to focus on the hardware. And I just can't understate enough the quality of the materials and the build quality on this device. So we'll see how it lasts. We'll see how long that lasts. So I'm going to be probably playing this quite a lot over the next few months. So maybe we'll do a little update video later on down the road, see how we did. But yeah, I got to tell you, for the last couple of days I've been using it, and it has been fantastic. So that being said, we're going to set this aside for a moment, because the truth is that while this device is great and we can't do much without it, it's not the star of the show in this bundle. The star of the show is what comes in the super pack, which is the Ayn Super Dock. And I'm going to do an actual unboxing of this device because while I've looked at it, I haven't actually taken it out of the package yet because I haven't started my home setup. Just been working on the handheld setup. So right away it comes in great protective cloth. It comes with some packing materials, plastic tray. The Super Pack dock also comes with a charger separately outside of the box. It comes with a second charger, so you can use it to plug in to the wall to keep it on and powered. This is just the basic user manual, all in English. But though it's basic, it really does give you all the information you need on how to set up the dock, and if you want to remove the panel, the transparent panel, if you don't, how you can connect the HDMI interface for 1080p HDMI out, however you want to do it, you can set up, and it gives you good instructions on that. But we're going to set that aside for a second. Now, as you might imagine, the dock is great for a device like this because it's going to allow us to have a place to charge the device. It's going to allow us to have a place to set the device down onto a surface and not have it just kind of floating around in case it might get damaged. So docks are great, love them. I love to have a dock with a device, certainly from the OEM manufacturer. But that's not why this device is great. It's not why this dock is great. It's not why this whole package is great. I don't know if I've mentioned it in videos, but I know I've talked about it a lot on Reddit and Discord. You have a very difficult time playing Nintendo 64 and Nintendo GameCube games on any handheld with any controller that is not the OEM designed controller, right? So super unique and custom controls for those two systems. The controllers were wacky and crazy, and to this day there's no controller that's quite like them on the market, right? So when you're playing Nintendo 64 games and Nintendo GameCube games, even if you can play them on a device that can emulate those systems perfectly, if you're not using a controller that is an N64 controller or a GameCube controller, you're not getting the same feel and gameplay that you did on the original systems. And Ayn has included in this Super Dock, right on the front and right on the sides, that's correct, you guessed it, ports for both N64 and GameCube. Okay, so this dock, not only does it include two USB 3 USB ports on the front, and 3 more USB ports on the back with an Ethernet port and an HDMI out for 4K video and an HDMI out for 1080p video and a spot in the rear compartment to hold, wait for it, an additional hard drive to store whatever data you want on the device so that you can access it when your Odin is plugged into the dock. But in addition to all of those things, it includes N64 ports and Nintendo GameCube ports for controllers. Guys, this is huge, and I think that a lot of the reviews that I've seen are really missing the boat on this one, because this is the device that allows you to take your handheld and plug it into the dock and connect controllers to it and actually use it to emulate N64 and GameCube games with the correct controller, with the appropriate controls, and have it work well. And I think a lot of the reviews out there haven't really mentioned that and haven't really gone over that, but I think that is a huge win, and it gives them a leg up on every other handheld manufacturer out there. Because if you want to play N64 games with the appropriate controller for any other device, you're looking at an adapter. You're looking at some type of USB port dock that turns into a USB signal that sometimes can maybe go to an N64 controller or wireless controller that's N64 shaped or GameCube game shaped or whatever. Guess what? This one puts the ports right on the dock. You can leave the controllers connected to it at all times and just have it available so that whenever you dock your Odin, the controllers immediately become available. And I got to tell you something, that is huge. Huge for N64 and GameCube games. I think this works perfectly. I think it fits well. I even put the included screen protector on this device, and it fits well within the little acrylic protector here for the dock. Me personally, I'm probably going to take this off because I don't like the idea of it sliding in and out and possibly scraping the device. So I'm probably going to take this off. But I'll read the manual and learn how to do that. Am I going to include an external hard drive here? Maybe. If I need the storage for additional GameCube games or whatever I want to put on this device, maybe I'll put a little storage device in here. What a great feature to have on a dock. I've never seen it before. Never seen that before on a handheld device dock anywhere. This is brand new. No one's doing this. This is the star of the show, man. And this device is great. We've never had a device like this that uses a common chipset and a well, a good performance chip with a great GPU. Even more than that, we have never had a dock like this that's coupled with a handheld that's an OEM package, right? I've never heard of it. I've never heard of that happening before. I don't know of any devices that are like that. If you do, feel free to comment down below and, tell me I'm an idiot, because I've never seen this before, and it's fantastic. And I think a lot of people are missing the boat on the dock and how much that really means for those enthusiasts who want to play N64 and GameCube games. So, wow, God, that's really where it's at, in my opinion. That's going to be it for today on this particular video. I know that it's probably going to be not the end of our Odin videos, but it is going to be our first Odin video. And right now, I just wanted to go over the hardware of these two devices. Next up will be software on our handheld. And then I'm going to kind of let you in a little bit to my home setup for console play. We're going to get this dock set up to our TV, and we're going to get some controllers. And truth to be told, they're already ordered and they're here, because that's how exciting this is for me. So we're going to get set working on that, and then we will update you with a new video on how you can set up your own Odin Super Dock with the Odin handheld and make it all work together. Thanks for watching. Glad you're tuning in. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you like. We're going to keep making these videos only because we're into this stuff. So hey, support the channel. Give us a subscribe. Like the video. Even better, pass it on to a friend who might be interested and maybe are back and forth about ordering one of these. I ordered this on an Indiegogo when it was kind of almost 3/4 of the way through its cycle. You can now purchase one for retail on their website. I'll put the link down below in the description so you can get to it. And lead time on these are still pretty long, especially with supply constraints and shipping constraints and stuff. But I got to tell you, it's well worth the wait. Yeah, I've waited 5 months for this device. Lots of people have waited a lot longer than that. But I can tell you that the build quality is fantastic, and this dock, there's some special sauce going on here. It's super simple. It's not really that complicated. It's just that nobody's put this together in this fashion before, and I think it's going to be a home run. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.